Meow everybody, this is FrostKittyPaw. In this tutorial I'm going to go over how to set up the Umbra clothes I made for Furality Umbra June 6th to 9th. This is just a fan project and not endorsed by the convention. I end up turning in some Meownyrn lore out of it too as well, which you can find on the Gumroad. That's still very much in the works. Maybe I'll release more in the future, but for now that's the little bit I put out there. Inside the folders, you'll find a Unity package which will give you Umbra underscore FKP, and then there will be the Cat V2 in free versions. Um, for if you have the Cat V2 purchased in Gumroad, you can download the zipped version, which includes the full setup of the Cat V2 um, from there. But if you just have the free version, it'll just be the clothes about the cat. The reason I did this is this allowed me to set up the cat in an optimized way for the convention without having every person having to go through the detailed steps to attach it to their avatar. So, and I'll go through how to set up on the Cat V2 for the most part. This is the PC setup. But the Quest setup should be identical. It's just the performance won't be as good. For PC, the performance is good, but for Quest, it'll be very poor since I didn't go through any special steps to optimize the poly counts and whatnot for Quest. Um, so for setting up the cat, there will be a few folders. The first folder is animations. That's everything that's used to set up this, so you don't have to do any tinkering for the most part. Icons, which will include the icon you see here. You can use these when you're uploading your thumbnails for VRChat if you have nothing else to use. And two scenes and the FBX. The FBX is a special FBX. This has the cat and all the clothes and everything, which makes it a little more optimized. The two scenes, the first one is the main scene that most people will be using. It's a non-face tracked version. So that's similar to the all clothes scene used with Cat V2. It includes the main cat model, which is slightly reduced in polys to make room for the clothing, plus all the Umbra clothing and one of the hair choices, and all the parameters and customization you'd expect in the game menu. The other one is the face tracking one. If you don't know what face tracking is, then I recommend don't touching it. Um, it works similar to the other face tracked scenes. You'll have to go into the FX animator and change the parameters there to preset your avatar customization before going into the game for the most part. That's because of the parameter limit on face tracking. So I'll go through how to set up with the Cat V2. So the main thing is the cat on the left side in the hierarchy. You can ignore the grayed out blank one that's turned off. That was just used for swapping over some fizz bones. I forgot to delete it. Um, so you can expand it by clicking this arrow. And the body, you'll find all sorts of blend shapes. I recommend just hiding this because you don't really need to do that here. There are a few blend shapes though if you really wanted to, all the way at the bottom for the different species. So if you want to be using the dragon or the fox-like blend shapes or wolf, you'll need to set those and turn them on here. Um, yep. And then if you want to change the materials, it's below the blend shapes. There's the body, eyes, and accessories. That's the same as normal for Cat V2. And then there's the clothing. To make it more optimized, I had to merge the clothing in with the body because you're limited to 2 skin meshes for a good avatar. So that means the skin mesh of the hair, because I still wanted the hair to be changeable, and then 1 skin mesh for the whole body was left, so I had to merge in the clothing. You can change them here by drag and dropping your materials here, or clicking this little circle thing next to material and then typing in the material you're looking for. So I can type in like bubbles and put on the Bubbles V2 texture if I want to change the body to that. For the Umbra, there's a few Umbra materials included. You can type in Umbra and then swap it through here. All of these are included except for this one. This is my personal one. Otherwise, you can find them here. Alternatively, you can change the textures down here. It should be unlocked if you're seeing anything weird on the PC end, like a pink shader or something. What you can do is click on, if it says like hidden lock, just click that, go to Pyoming, Pyoming 8.1, and put it to Pyoming Tune. I should include a link to Pyoming on the Gumroad page, at least for the cat. I think I forgot to include it on the assets, but after this I'll probably go back to the Drifter page and remember to put which Pyoming version to include. So I'm using Pyoming 8.1.167. Anything after this should probably also work. They've been doing a good job of including the older Pyomings and making it backwards compatible, which is pretty nice. So if it's missing, just set the shader back, and usually it's smart enough. It has all these settings saved, and you'll get back the shader. So if it's like pink or blue or something, just do that to get back. Um, that's how to customize the textures. If it's unlocked, you can change the albedos. You can also quickly change out the whole material if you have something else set up already. The only other big thing you need to set up here before you go in game for the main version is the hair type. You'll find the hair under the extra hairs. So what you do if you want to change out the hair is you'll need to navigate down to the head on the hierarchy of the avatar and the bones. And then I would recommend moving the short hair off and then drag and dropping the new hair you want onto the head. Um, you'll need to change out the fizz bones as well. So there's this fizz bones folder here. You can change out the fizz bones very similarly. And they should hopefully work just fine once you have them swapped out. Um, you can also put on some more fizz bones here. So I have all the old fizz bones. I had to reduce it down to 8 um, just to meet the good performance, but the old ones are still here in case you want to swap out the ones that I chose for different ones, or just increase and go beyond and have a medium avatar. Um, I was trying to aim good because it is a large convention and it is respectful of their players to try and keep the performance down because it it's pretty hard to load all those avatars and everyone has their safety settings up correctly to help protect their 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 computer that might just be chugging along as is. Um, if you want to change the tail, I recommend putting on like if you want the wolf tail, put on the tail wolf and then take off the old tail because they both do the same thing and you don't want them interacting with each other. So that's how to set up the main one. Um, I'm going to discard settings so I get back my old thing. I don't mess up the master file. For the face tracking one, it's similar, except you're going to need to make all your changes in the effects layer. So when changing the hair on the other version, something to note is that's the only change you have to do anything fancy for it. Is an in-game menu. You'll have to either go into in-game menu once you have your avatar up. If you change the hair to like V2 long hair, you'll need to go into the customize head and turn off short hair and turn on long hair. If you want long hair V1, you need to turn on both short hair and long hair. If you want no hair, um, all the settings will work, but I recommend just turning off short hair and long hair. It's the same as the regular avatar. It's just an optimization thing and helping everyone get the animations they need if I have to do a whole lot of work. And you can set that in the parameters as well in the main version. But for face tracking, all the parameters are used up for the most part. So it's just like the regular version. You'll need to go into the effects animator, select it there, and then go into parameters and change your values. Um, 0 is false, off, and then 1 is true or on. And a lot of these also have values ranging from 0 for 0% to 1 for 1% or for 100%. So you need to go through and set all these up. So for like how big your feet are, how thick your tail is, or if you have the female chest stuff turned on, or which hair you want, you have to set it up here in the effects layer. So that's how it's set up for the Cat V2. For the free version, all it is the FB axis for each individual part. So the first is everything all together as one mesh, the clothing without the base avatar. And then you got the goggles, the helmet with the goggles. There's a blend shape on here to hide the goggles on the helmet, and vice versa, you can also hide the helmet. There's a backpack, the pouch, the gloves, the shoes, and the main jumper. And you also have the materials. This includes the new materials for the cat as well as the Umbra materials, and a few extras like some tiger stripes, the Bengal, what's called, no, tabby stripes, and that's what it's called. Um, and then some older Furality stuff for symbols and things. So you can use these with like a Furality texture or something to maybe add some cool stuff for the lighting effects. I don't have things here set up with that. I didn't know how the Furality shader will play out, so I didn't want to um, jeopardize that and maybe give everyone some bad settings to work with if I use the Furality settings. So I just went with the same Pyoming as I usually use. So you find all that here. If you just wanted the new tabby cat here, Fiona texture, you technically could just import the free one and just use the materials on the older cat. If you want to attach this to another avatar, you most likely have to do edits in Blender, and I can't really give support for it. But I'll show kind of quickly on a dummy setup of the cat chin some things you can do. So once you have your scene open with your avatar, you can go back to the folder with the free assets. I'm just going to use the main Umbra for an example. You'll see that the arms here for V1 were much shorter than new arms. New arms helped improve full body experience by lengthening them out. So what we'd have to do is shrink down the arm bones to match what we're expecting. Let's see, so I can go here. You can change to, let's see, it should be scale tool. I don't usually use the tools, but you can do stuff like this and see if you're see what you need to do to get your avatar to line up. And there's also some on the mesh itself. There's some blend shapes you can change to help line things up. Most likely it won't work on most avatars, but there is an option here, so I thought I'd mention it. I mainly did this so people can add like maybe the backpack or the goggles, which are probably a little bit more independent of avatar species, onto their avatar. Um, so once you have it all set up how you like, I'd either you can use one of there's some software out, or some packages out there to merge two FBX together. I haven't had the best results with them. Um, but there's VRC Fury and some others which can help you merge clothing onto the existing model if the bones are all named the same. If they're not named the same, it'll probably break. What I like to do, which is a little tedious and not the most optimized because it increases the bone count ridiculously, but if you unpack completely the prefab of the clothing, you can drag the mesh of the clothing onto the avatar just below the body, and then drop all these bones onto the corresponding bones of the avatar. You can tell which ones are which by the white being the unpacked bones of the clothing and the blue being the prefab of the avatar. If you try moving around the blue ones, it'll give you a warning saying, hey, you can't do that because it's prefab. So that's why we had to unpack the clothing. But this does double count the bones. Each one of these white bones counts the same time these blue bones, so it's not the most optimized, but it'll help you just quickly parent on, have the clothing follow along with the body. So that's how to set up the avatars. If you have any questions, just let me know. Meow.